Hey guys, I wanted to go over my auto team for level 10 hard Grythion? The Griffin? um, it's another situation where it seems like cleansing, heals, and reviving is super helpful. Just like the Nether Spider, you can get thrown some debuffs, you gotta be able to take them off. Now this is not a boss that most people are going to auto. It's a really tough boss. You gotta time everything properly. Much like the Faction War boss with Mirror Universe, it's kind of the same idea. You want to make sure you're putting your buffs and your debuffs up at the right time. Now I actually did this on stream, and it was tough and I barely won. My team was a little bit different that I used on stream. It took a lot longer. But this team seems to be more solid, and I can do it on auto. Now the first time I used this setup and did it on auto, I put Siffy in. But I was like, alright, well most people don't have Siffy, so what's another good healer that may be a little bit more attainable? And I thought Steel Skull. Now he does have some buffs that could be used against us, but hopefully the timing is right and they're not used against us. So I threw him in. I did 3 runs so far with this. 2 out of the 3 worked. It does get very hairy toward the end, so this is not 100%. But the good thing with Doom Tower is if you lose, you don't waste those silver keys. So you could try again and it's fine. I think one thing I should do to get this comp better is putting Syl with higher resistance. Same thing with Steel Skull probably. Honestly, everything is built as is. I did not change anything for this comp. For this boss, sorry. I do think the person getting the stuns has been Longbeard, but that's fine, honestly. He's there to help with ally attack, to just do more damage quicker and get that boss down. Drexthar is in there for the HP burns, and that is doing a bulk of the damage. Now, even though he's the wrong affinity, he has 2 ways that he can cause the boss to go under HP burn, one by being attacked, and one when attacking, so it's super helpful. HP burn coming in clutch yet again. This is a very similar idea to Nether Spider, honestly, when it comes down to it. I mean, the bosses are completely different, but the same type of comp seems to be what's working for me, at least. So I wanted to go in here and I wanted to show you a couple runs. I at least wanted to show you a successful run here, so we'll get right into it. I am going to do this full auto from the start, and we'll speed it up here and I'll show you the results. Alright, now you see how hairy this gets at the end here? This looks like it's going to be a fail. Or are we going to do it? Oh man. Now if Syl, yep, this one is a fail. Alright, so a big part of why that failed is Syl's passive at the end there. Excuse me, not passive, her A1 uses a decreased turn meter when she attacks there, and unfortunately it does cause her to get stunned. Hence why I said she'd be better with more resistance. But usually a Doom Priest is right there with those amazing relentless procs, healing constantly and cleansing, and it's alright. So this failing, well, let's be honest, it is as expected. This is not a team tuned for this boss. this was me throwing some people together. And like I mentioned, it does seem to fail every time or two. So it's not perfect, but it's very close. And if I just stopped the auto toward the end there and manualed, I think I would have been in a better spot. But we're going to quickly do a couple adjustments and see what happens. Alright, so in a perfect world, I would have Syl, Doom Priest, and Steel Skull all in Relentless gear. But honestly, I don't have that much gear ready at the moment. I probably could get one of them in Relentless, but it worked without it. I want to try it again. When it comes to level, I believe 90 that this is as well, that's probably going to be necessary. I guess I could prep in the meantime. But what I just did was I got Syl in a resistance banner instead of a accuracy banner. So we're going to see if we have some more success on this run. Alright guys, so I actually had a couple fails, so I realized I needed to do a little bit more than just increase my resistance on Syl of the Drakes. So what I did was I put her in Relentless gear. So we're going to go through here and see if this is an auto-friendly run. If not, I feel like this team could work. I just probably have to manual it, which is the reality for this boss, especially on floor 90. I can't see how anyone's going to be able to auto it on floor 90. It is a tough boss. Let's go. Alright, I realize I have a little bit of an audio delay, sorry. But yeah, successful run. I got Syl in Relentless gear. She has a little bit of resistance, enough for this boss at least. So I kind of killed her accuracy for the time being, but I don't really use her anywhere else, so if I'm just using her for this one boss, that is fine with me. We'll see if I use her elsewhere for other bosses and I need to turn up that resistance. I'm going to go over all my characters here so you can see my builds and see what was successful. And yeah, I think this is a lot more reliable than the last one I did. This was a better time for me, just a couple more turns, and this felt way more reliable. Syl in Relentless and Doom Priest in Relentless, and when I get the gear leveled up, Steel Skull and Relentless as well. I did use Steel Skull and Relentless to beat Faction Wars 21. I don't think I could have done it without that. But I did steal gear off Doom Priest and Manaya. And actually Syl of the Drakes has pretty much all of my Manaya gear right now, so she's going to need some work too. But let me show you these characters. Alright, so we'll start with Drexlar Blood Twin. I had him built decently for the boss previously, the Frost Spider, hence his high accuracy. This build is a little bit crazy. You don't need this much accuracy, you just don't. But it's alright. I left it for the sake of future Frost Spider, assuming it may come back. But he is solid. Sorry, let me leave that up for a longer second there. We've got 222 speed. He's going fast. So what makes him so great is he does HP burn on his A1, and his passive has him get HP burn when he is attacked. So great champion. This Burning Lash really helps with the waves as well. I do have him fully mastered, focusing on that accuracy for sake of, again, Doom Tower and that Frost Spider, but you could probably build him with an offense as well. Like I used to have him in War Master or actually Giant Slayer. He hits 3 times, right? Yeah, I had him in Giant Slayer for sake of Clan Boss way back when, which was really helpful for beating other bosses. If you plan to use him in something else like Spider, you're going to want him in Giant Slayer Mastery instead of this, more than likely. So don't go so crazy on the accuracy unless you need it for Doom Tower. Alright, and this boss doesn't need that high. We're only at level 10. Let's see here. And then the other character we had was Silt of the Drakes. So I did regear her quite a bit. I did a complete regear on her. Now she has about the same defense I had, which is great. Solid HP, fast enough. Could be faster, honestly. And then we have enough resistance and accuracy for this boss. Now this comes down to that handy dandy spreadsheet, which kind of shows us what all the levels are as far as the stats on all the champions that we're fighting. So you can take a look at that spreadsheet. I'll try to remember to link it below. Feel free to remind me if I don't. Alright, so that is him. I had Longbeard in there for ally attack. That's his main job. Plus putting Weaken on helps him helps us get the boss down a little bit faster. But he's not in a perfect build, honestly. He's still in lifesteal gear. I did have him in Clan Boss, but I did start shifting him toward attack and damage based. I was starting to get his crit rate up, but I didn't quite finish his build, honestly. He's still pretty imperfect, but he works. This is not a particular build. This is just what I had on him. His speed is really slow. I could definitely speed him up a bit. I could probably replace a few pieces of gear and make him instantly better, but it worked. I'm leaving it for now. I do have him in Clan Boss Masteries as well. Going down to War Master behind my head here. And then, I should mention, of course, Kreela is another perfect example for this, or any great ally attack champions. Feel free to sub them in if you don't have a long beard. Who else we got? Doom Priest. So Doom Priest I've had in Relentless Gear as well, which a lot of her stuff is level 12. Oh my goodness here. I need to get her leveled up. She's been great though. Even without being leveled up, I have her at solid HP. Her defense is kind of lacking, but I think that will be changed a little bit when I level up her gear, if I get lucky. I don't have any accuracy or resistance on her. She doesn't really need accuracy, and then the resistance side of things. She does cleanse every heal, or every turn, so super great. Removes a random debuffs at the start of this champion's turn, so that's super helpful, and that's her main job. I did end up using her speed aura as the lead for the battle as well. And then Steel Skull was the other piece of this puzzle. So I wish I could put him in Relentless Gear, but I only have so many pieces of good Relentless Gear rolled up at the moment, and that isn't enough for him. So I have him with kind of fair stats here, but for this level 10 boss it was enough. They could be a little bit better, honestly, for that defense and HP, especially when we get to floor at 90. But I did have his accuracy pretty decent for sake of the poisons. It's just another buff that could help kill the boss, but it's unfortunately going to get thrown back on us when we're on auto because it's just going to happen. Plus I have him in Relentless. If I had him in Relentless Gear, he would do that more often. We'd probably have more poisons thrown back on us, but it's a little bit of give and take. The cleansing and healing from him certainly proved more valuable than the poisons that get thrown back on us. And I do have him on full masteries as well, down to War Master, which was super helpful for also beating faction wars. Lasting gifts to extend buffs actually could hurt us in this case, but it seems to be okay. Honestly, this is a great team. You could try it on manual if you're having trouble on auto. It's not a boss that we really thought we could manual anyway, let's be honest. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Try similar teams, but again, don't rely on auto. I just wanted to see if I could auto it for sake of farming this boss, because the gear is pretty fun. A lot better than the other gear that they've had. So I didn't want to waste my silver keys. I wasted them yesterday because I was stuck and I knew I couldn't manual it, or auto it. But I ended up being able to, so give it a try. Play around with these compositions. If you have trouble, or when you get toward the end, get it off auto, do it manually. But think about these mechanics. I mean, you really need that cleansing. You need constant healing. You don't want to let your HP drop before 50%. There's a lot of mechanics going on with these new bosses, but it's really fun. It makes us use characters we don't normally use. You know, Syl's been a huge MVP in Doom Tower in general. Personally, I really never used her, so now I'm using her. It's good. It's getting me using people that I don't really use. Steel Skull I was only using in Faction Wars, So now he has a home as well. So at least while these bosses are up, experiment, try some new champions. I think ideally for damage, maybe instead of Drexthar, I want to get Faceless in there, or maybe instead of Longbeard, try Faceless. But I don't have him built right now. I think I have him at level 40. I plan to work on him in the future, maybe for the boss level 90 if I have trouble and Drexthar's not good enough. So we'll see. We will see when we get there. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Comment below, what are your successful teams for level 10, and were you able to auto it on your teams? Let me know. Let some other people know here in the comments so that way we can all do this together. It's a fun boss, but man, it's hard.